Over the past 3 years, I reviewed over 100 bikes. I've seen everything from lightweight, foldable, tiny bikes to big old fat tire monsters. Yet today I have something I haven't seen yet, I haven't tried yet. Any guesses on what that might be? I'll wait. Most mountain bike style all-terrain fat bikes either have a high step or a mid step, which makes it tricky to mount, dismount, especially if you're a smaller rider. Now, how this design affects balance and handling are some of the things I'll be talking about in the review, along with showing you how fast it can go, how well it can climb hills, and what you can expect for range. So let me kick the review off first with a speed test. Well, you got a bunch of power for the E300. It's got a Bafang 750 watt nominal, 1000 watt peak motor that's powered by an internal 48 volts, 15 amp hour lithium battery, which takes 4 to 6 hours to recharge. It can be charged in the bike or out of the bike, and has a battery level readout. There's 5 pedal assist levels and a top speed rating of 31 miles per hour. Speed mode 1 is 10 on the app and the bike, 2 is 12, 3 is 15, 4 is 17. There's a 2 mile difference between the app and the bike, and 5 is 25 on the app and 28 on the bike. At lower speeds, my speed app matched the bike. It wasn't until pedal assist 3, 4, and 5 where it started to separate, and at level 5, it was off by 3 miles per hour. So it does register faster than what you're actually going, but still 25 miles per hour is a little bit above average for bikes in this price range. Now this does have a half twist throttle on the right side. Let's see how fast that goes. And then the throttle tops out at 25 miles per hour. And if you wanted to disengage the throttle, there's a button here, just push it, throttle no longer works. I got the same speed I did with pedal assist level 5, which is 25 miles per hour. So that is the top speed of the bike. Most fat bikes don't offer a super poppy acceleration just because they are big and bulky, and even though the E300 is a step-through design, it's missing that top bar, it still weighs a lot at 74 pounds, but can carry a rider up to 400 pounds. Now most bikes in this price range take about 10 seconds to hit 20 miles per hour. Let's see how this does. Pedal assist is faster, only took half a block to hit 20 miles per hour, where with throttle, it's about a block long to hit the same speed. So you do have a soft or a hard start option. One thing that is overlooked when buying a bike is how reactive the motor is. From a standstill, pedal assist first, about half a revolution before the power comes on, and then cruising around 50 miles an hour if I stop pedaling. Takes about a quarter of a second for the power to kick off, and then if I begin pedaling, there's less than 1 revolution before the power comes back on. And this is the type of bike, when that power comes on, you feel it. If you like a fast acceleration from a standstill and as you're going, you're gonna like this. And now throttle from a standstill, here we go. Oh, that is very gentle off the line. Now it starts to ramp up. Going 11, 12 miles an hour, if I release it, instantly cuts off. If I re-engage, power comes on much quicker than it does from a standstill. But if you hold that throttle at a certain speed for about 4 or 5 seconds, that engages the cruise control. The reaction time for both pedal assist and throttle is pretty much par for the course. On the TomTom's website, they say this can climb up to a 35-degree slope, which is the same as a black diamond ski slope or a 70% grade. I think they meant to say percent rather than degree. Anyway, I've got a 15% grade hill. Gonna show you how well it can climb. All right, starts to climb right off the bat. This is 2 blocks long, a 15% grade. I'm on speed mode 5. I've got a full charge on the bike. Bike's doing like 90% of the work. Oh, slowing down a little bit. Now I'm putting in some more effort. Down to 5. Coming over the top. Well, I don't think it's gonna be climbing any 70% grades. 15% grade is about what it can do for my weight of 185 pounds. My speed app went down to 5 miles per hour, which is slow for that hill. You're gonna need a lot of braking power for a bike as heavy as this, and I think the E300 has got it. It doesn't have hydraulic brakes, but they do have 120mm disc, which I think will do the trick. Right side controls the rear, left side the front. They do have motor cutoff, so I'm pedaling. Hit the brakes, cuts the motor off, release, motor comes right back on. Nice and smooth for light braking, no squeaking, grinding, no pulsating. And then hard braking going around 25 miles an hour, 3, 2, 1. It took me about 25 feet to stop, going 25 miles per hour, which I thought was pretty good for something this big. The E300 has a range rating of 35 to 60 miles. For this first range test, I'm gonna keep it around 20 miles per hour without a lot of stop and go. Now I actually turned off my app at the halfway point, but I did go back the exact same way. So my app recorded 11.27 miles, but if you times that by 2, that's 22.54 miles with 954 feet of elevation gain. Now that is on the low side of bikes in this price range. I would have liked to seen this get around 27 to 29 miles. For this next test, I'm gonna resemble city driving, a lot of stop and go, gonna top the bike out and see what I get this time. Range test 2 is complete. It was cold, around 31, 32 degrees, and I found that that does affect the range. I didn't drain the battery all the way, so I think I probably could have got another 2 to 3 miles, but my app recorded 10.45 miles with 426 feet of elevation gain. That's about half the elevation I got in the first range test, and about 10 miles less. So a lot of stop and go, colder temperatures, and obviously riding it fast is gonna take a toll on the range. Okay guys, as far as the specs, design, things like that, obviously the first biggest thing that you'll notice that I've talked about before is the step-through design, and that frame is beefy. So don't be fooled thinking this is lighter, but it does come in white or gray. Doesn't come with fenders, you have to pick those up separately. And I was looking for places to mount racks and I can't see any on the back or the front, so I don't know if it has that option. As far as geometry, it's over 70 inches long. It's got a 43-inch wheelbase and a rider size of 5'6" up to 6'8". If you've been wanting an all-terrain fat bike, but you didn't like how big it was and how tricky it was to get on, this here is the bike for you. I mean, once you lower that seat down, step through, very easy to mount and dismount. As most of you guys know, I'm 5'11", and my leg is bent quite a bit. So if you're a smaller rider, I think you'd be just fine managing, controlling, and feeling confident on something like this. Then for you tall freaks out there, you'd also be fine on something like this. As you can see, this gives a more aggressive riding stance where you're hunched over, you're bending over. The nice thing about this is it's very stable, and so for the range test, I was riding this without hands about 50% of the time. As far as the cockpit, there's a 27.5-inch reach. There's a lot of room here. If you're a bigger rider, you're gonna enjoy that. You got mountain bike style handlebars, which are 26.8 inches long. That is a good size for the frame of the bike. I do like the handling on this. As far as the handling, it is heavy and slow. You do need to put more effort into turning. These fat bikes have more of a stiff handling. I don't like the grips. These are just some of the cheapest grips that you can find. On the right side, there's a SIS Index Shimano 7-speed. Going up is 1 at a time, coming down is 7 to 1 with 1 push. And that is matched with a turning derailleur. Then you got an oversized suspension cruiser saddle, so suspension underneath, not the most comfortable padding. For bigger bumps, it's nice, but for longer rides, my rear end was starting to get a little bit sore. Moving down the bike, you got 26 by 4-inch all-terrain tires. They do say they have a puncture-resistant liner in it, but I ran over a thorn the other day and the tire went flat, so I'm not sure how well that liner is working. I did put some goo in it and haven't had any problems since, so a small hole. Then you got a front fork suspension with 120 millimeters of travel. You can lock that out. I didn't do any off-roading because as you can see, we just had a pretty big snowstorm. All the roads are covered in snow and ice, so I didn't want to die. But the road I was on for the 2 range tests had some bigger bumps and cracks, and I thought it did a pretty good job. Would I recommend this for off-road riding? Yes, but be choosy on the type of trail and go slow, around 15 miles per hour, and I think you'd be okay. Moving on to the LCD screen and control panel. Up top here is the power button. Hold it down for a couple seconds. Plus and minus to change the pedal assist levels, 1 through 5. Hit the I button to scroll through different readouts, and then the plus and minus to enter the advanced settings. And this is where you can reset the trip odometer, increase the screen brightness, and change the units. If you hold down the plus button, that turns on the headlight. Kind of a cheaper feeling lights, fairly bright, not my favorite. And then hold down the minus button for the walk assist mode. The E300 is waterproof, has a 2-year warranty, and free shipping in the lower 48. So what are your thoughts? Do you like the big beefy frame, big old all-terrain 4-inch tires with the step-through design, or do you like the mid or high step? Typically, I'm not a fan of the step-through design, but I think with a big monstrous frame, it doesn't look as bad as skinny tire bikes with the same design. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.